What's up guys? So in this particular video we'll be discussing about Meghalaya in the month of August 2025, what you should be expecting in terms of the weather, the road condition, the places that you should be visiting, what is the kind of budget that you need when you're traveling to Meghalaya in the month of August, and most of all what you should be packing for your trip to Meghalaya. Now starting off with the weather, keep in mind that August is another monsoon month in Meghalaya, so the monsoon is going to be in full swing. So, no matter which part of August you're planning on going, it's going to be raining. So, by default, pack your rain gear, that is, a umbrella, a strong, good umbrella, and your wind cheater. Even carrying both of them will end up getting you wet because it rains so heavy in Meghalaya along with the wind that you're going to end up getting drenched. But you do need to carry as much as you can rain gear. Now when it comes to the temperature, keep in mind that the daytime temperature will range from anywhere between 15 degrees to 25, while the temperature in the night will be anywhere between 8 to 12 degrees. It's going to be pretty cold because with the rain comes a lot of cold weather along with it. So it's going to be cold nights and chilly days is what I would say. Now remember that because of the rains, it's going to be plenty of greenery, but at the same time, since Meghalaya is a hill state, there's going to be a lot of cloud cover and a lot of fog, so the visibility is going to be down drastically. So make sure that whichever vehicle you're hiring, it has anti-fog lights, so that by default when it starts raining and the visibility gets low, your driver can navigate through this without any difficulty of sorts, because the visibility becomes a real big concern when you're traveling around Meghalaya in the monsoon, and you will feel it when you're over there. If you're planning on self-driving to Meghalaya in the month of August, I would say do not do it because it's a really risky affair. No matter how experienced you are, it's still not a good time to be going around these winding hilly roads in the rain with the visibility being less than, I would say, 3 to 4 meters. Riding by bikes, no matter how good a rider you are and how experienced you are, and no matter what you have done in your life as a rider, do not go to Meghalaya on a bike trip in the month of August. It's going to be raining so much that by default you're going to get wet and you're going to fall sick, and you do not want to have that in a place where recovering is going to be really difficult because every day it's going to be raining, and it's just not a pleasant feeling to fall sick in another place on holiday. So for those who want to self-drive and ride a bike, plan your trip for the second half of October onwards because it's not a monsoon place to go biking. Now when it comes to another important thing that you need to keep in mind from the weather point of view is that it's going to be pretty humid in Meghalaya in the month of August, because with rain comes humidity. So when it's not raining, the humidity will shoot up, and that's when you'll start sweating and feel a bit eerie. But other than that, it's a very good time to be going there in terms of the weather. For those who like waterfalls, the month of August is the best time to be going there because by default you're going to get to see a lot of waterfalls in and around Meghalaya. When it comes to the road condition, there are landslides which happen, but it's very less along the tourist circuit. You'll mostly find landslides and bad roads along the trail to Dauki, because that's where the road is unpaved along the way to Mawlyngnaung and Revise. So it's always better to take the Jawai road, go to Dauki, and then return via the dirt road, which is after Mawlyngnaung till the Cherrapunji junction. Now remember that camping at Dauki is not possible. Boating is possible, but you're not going to get to see a see-through river. That's not possible. It's going to be muddy or dark green by default, but you can definitely go there. You can take the boating adventure ride and you can come back. Just make sure that you have your life jackets, because without that it's going to be really risky. The trek to the double-decker route bridge is also possible, but by default remember that on Sundays it's closed, and now the Meghalaya government has made it mandatory that everybody who's doing a trek in Meghalaya needs to have a local guide along with them. So by default you will have to hire a local guide and start your trek. Remember, the trek to the double-decker route bridge is closed on a Sunday, every Sunday of the year. So by default do not plan your trek on the Sunday. Go any other day of the week other than Sunday. Now when you're planning your trip to Meghalaya and you want to do the double-decker, you need to keep one entire day dedicated for the trek, because climbing up 3000 steps and going down 3000 steps isn't a joke. So it's going to take you a while, and in the rain it's going to be really slippery, and Make sure that you have a very good pair of shoes. If you can, get waterproof hiking boots, because that's the best way to get in and out of Meghalaya without having any kind of problem with your footwear. Remember that leeches also are a big problem in Meghalaya when you're going trekking, especially along the double decker root bridge trail. So by default, be sure and be wary about them, because they can be a real problem. And once they get onto your body, they're going to suck your blood out. So just be very sure about where you're sitting and where you're putting your feet and where you're stamping. Now, this is why the guide comes really handy, because they know the terrain and the trail in and out. They can help you avoid such disasters along the way and avoid a panic situation. Now, when it comes to the places that you should be visiting, by default, you have to visit Shillong. That's the place you should make base. You can stay a couple of days in Shillong, stay at least 2 nights in Cherrapunji if you plan on doing the double decker route bridge. You can also stay in villages like Maulingnong and Rivai if you're interested, or you can stay near Dauki River. There are plenty of accommodations over there. But remember that accommodation in Meghalaya, even in the month of August, is pretty costly, because August is considered one of the peak seasons for Meghalaya, because by default there's plenty of local crowd that goes to Meghalaya for the waterfalls. If you are someone who likes waterfalls and enjoys visiting waterfalls, then by default you're going to get to experience plenty of waterfalls, because every place you go to there's going to be waterfalls. The Seven Sister, Naukalika, Krangsuri, you name it, all the waterfalls are going to be easily accessible. So by default, whenever you're going and wherever you're going, just make sure that you leave on time, because leaving on time is the success formula to explore and experience everything. By default, you need to start in the morning by, I would say, 6 o'clock, so that you avoid missing out, since sunset will be pretty early. I would say by 5 o'clock the sun will start dipping and things will start shutting. It'll become really difficult. Now, if you're someone who's confused about how to go about planning your trip and are interested in joining a group or want a private trip organized, we do have trips for a group, that you can join a group as a solo traveler or as a couple, or you can enroll for a private trip with your group. It depends entirely on you. For that, you need to click on the link in the description, go to our website, and you'll get all the details related to our trips. And from our website, you can directly WhatsApp us from the WhatsApp icon on the website. Now, if you have any queries related to your own personal trips related to Meghalaya, then do not WhatsApp us. You can directly book a consultation with one of our travel experts who will assist you with your queries. If you have any query which you feel we can resolve via the comment box on YouTube, then you can leave a comment in the comment section, and we'll be more than happy to reply to your comment, your question or your doubt via YouTube itself. Now, when it comes to what you should be packing, like I mentioned, you need to pack rainwear. Also pack clothes which will dry up really quickly. Avoid carrying jeans or woolen wear, because even though it's going to be cold, carry jackets which will dry up quickly. And when you're packing your things, just make sure you're packing everything in transparent plastic bags. So even if your backpack or your duffel bag or your trolley bag gets wet along the way on transit, things inside your bag will remain dry, because if your clothes and other things in the bag get wet, it's going to be a real problem for you to be traveling around with wet clothing and gear. So to avoid that, put them all in nice plastic bags and keep them safe. At the same time, when you're planning on budgeting, remember that if you're going there for a week, it entirely depends on the number of people. But you can take a standard cost that a basic decent room with breakfast in Meghalaya will cost you around, I would say 3 to 3,500, a decent room with a good view and everything. At the same time, a 4-seater vehicle will cost you anywhere between 3,500 to 4,000, and an SUV will cost you anywhere between 5 to 7,000. This cost depends entirely on the time you're going. If you're going during Independence Day, the costing will go up because of the rush, and at the same time, you need to understand that the quality of the vehicle and the age of the vehicle also matters in the costing of this. So entirely depends on how much you're ready to shell off. But if you're going as a couple or in a small group, you need to budget for at least, I would say, minimum 25,000 without your flights for your trip. And this is also a lower limit. If you want a more relaxed trip where you do not have to worry about every penny you spend, then you need to keep a budget of anywhere between 30 to 35,000 to do this trip comfortably. Remember, it's going to be raining really heavily. ATMs are easily available. Network is very good. You'll get Jio, Airtel, Vodafone, BSNL. Jio and Airtel are the best. You'll get 4G and 5G network everywhere in most places. So now, till our next video, stay safe, stay happy, and stay blessed.